And now for something completely different.
What I do is I look a woman up and down and I say,
I'm coming to join you, bitch!
Oh, is that too far?
Oh, you want to get into things?
Well, I mean...
No. Let's get into things. Let's get real. Everybody, Bojack wants to get real. Cancel the bubble round, because we're getting real.
Hello, everybody. I am the original Zach Wiseman, back at it. Good to see you. Thank you for watching. This is a very weird episode of No Time to Binge, which is a weird show in which we watch just the very first episode of something and then the very last episode of something, and then try to figure out what happens in the middle, because as you can see, we're all beautiful people, and obviously we have a lot of things to do, and we literally have no time to binge watch this. And obviously, we got some cool people to do it, including, and most importantly, Special Agent Matt Deterior Cooper.
Oh, wow. You know, when you said most important, I thought you were going to say B.
I did too.
Because
I did too
Yeah,
until I started talking.
For it.
she is an integral part to this. And be it that I was brought up in the school of the coop, can we please maybe direct our attention and introduce the lady first? And I will happily go second. Zach, you can come back to me.
You got it, pal. And obviously, and most importantly, we have Miss B. Hyland here today. B, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Thank you very much.
Fantastic.
Thank you for hanging out here in the storm. We appreciate it. And yeah, if you dip out early, we know what's going on. And Dylan will let you borrow his floor fans.
Yes.
If I dip out, it's
plenty of
because my
them.
power's gone.
Yeah. Twin Peaks. Have you seen this before? I don't think you did, right? From last time we talked, you have not. Yeah, and you now love this show, right? You are in love with this.
I need to know what happened.
Yeah, me too. All right, we'll get to it real soon. We have my obviously the second most important person is Mr. Dylan Terry. Obviously, Dylan, he's the guy who keeps all of my stuff in line and hangs out when I don't feel like doing anything. Dylan, how are you, sir?
I'm doing fine. My feet are a little wet, but that's okay.
Yeah, well, you're sweaty because B's here. That makes sense. Twin Peaks. Now, I think this is kind of set in Colorado, and also the one cabin looks very strangely like the one from Dumb and Dumber. But anyway, this is weird enough of a show that you should know this, but you don't.
Hey, so I've tried to watch Twin Peaks several times. I've gotten about 4 or 5 episodes in every time, and for some reason, I just don't keep going. I know of it by just exposure from people who tell me to watch it, but I've never seen it all the way through.
Yeah. Well, we're going to get into maybe some of the answers that you possibly have, but we actually have the most important person here today, someone who really has come up in the school of hard knocks. Obviously, and you can see in this episode, looks great in glasses. A man with really just a rocking thing around his neck. Mr. Michael Colby, spelled backwards. How are you, sir?
Oh, you didn't even try.
E-block, Leckham. E-block
Okay.
Meckham.
All right, now I'm going to take that audio and I'm going to reverse it, and I'm going to see how well you did.
Not right now.
No, not right now, no.
Oh, I really thought you had the tech to do that for some reason.
I do, but I don't have
okay.
We were
Anyway,
going to wait like 5 minutes, so we figured it out, because that's good audio.
Yeah. Anyway, we do have the most important person here today. We have Mr. Special Agent Cooper. His friends know him as Mr. Matt Deterior. How are you, sir? Love it.
Oh, that's my damn fine cup of coffee.
Love it.
Yeah.
Bragging that you are a centaur, right?
Man.
Centaurus? Is that what you are?
Yep.
Centaurus? I'm not sure what that is.
Yep. And so glad that we're finally here. Twin Peaks time. As you mentioned, Zach,
I did.
I'm glad you're not swearing as much this go round, by the way. Appreciate it.
Yeah, we got a lot of feedback on that. People did not like that at all.
No. Your beard looked nice, though. So
Thin.
I owe a lot of accomplishments in my life to Special Agent Dale Cooper. It's why I took on his last name and pushed myself to become a special agent. Other accomplishments include graduating high school. Owe that to Special Agent Dale Cooper. I was going to drop out and deal the street drugs. But I thought, you know what? That's not what the Coop would want me to do. I lost my virginity thanks to Special Agent Dale Cooper. I learned the moves to put on a very special lady. Little known fact, midway through, everyone, she looked at me, asked me if I was okay. I said, yeah, great. And she just said, I look a little distant. I'm like, I'm just thinking about Special Agent Dale Cooper. And she nodded her head, said she understood. I just made a lot of the right choices in life. I mean, every single day. What would Special Agent Dale Cooper do? I have not murdered anyone yet.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're killing it. I really wish that I had been washed over by this show a while ago, so I knew how to be more like Cooper, or at least how to not kill somebody. But yeah, for those who do not know, we are going to get into what Twin Peaks is about. Twin Peaks is an American serial drama television series created by David Lynch and Mark Frost, which spans 48 episodes over 3 seasons. We only really watched seasons 1 and then the end of season 2. So the show's original run, which comprised of 2 seasons, the 30 episodes, which came out on April 8th of 1990 on ABC. And then there's an 18-episode season 3, which came out in 2017. So Twin Peaks follows FBI Special Agent Dale Cooper, played by Colin McLaughlin, who was sent to a fictional town of Twin Peaks. It's actually in Washington. Yep, I knew that. To investigate the murder of popular and respected high school student Laura Palmer, played by Cheryl Lee. A feature-length prequel film, Twin Peaks Fire Walks With Me, was released in 1992, which depicts the events leading up to Laurel's death. So we watched episode 1 of season 1, which is called Northwest Passage. Michael Colby, quickly tell me what happens in episode 1. Like, if you can just sum up what happens, what goes on here.
Laura Palmer gets killed. A lady discovers her plastic-wrapped corpse on the beach. And then Special Agent Dale Cooper is sent in to the small town. And I wish that I would have watched this 2-hour pilot movie, because I have seen episodes of Twin Peaks before, but I was never like into it. And I've seen a bunch of David Lynch's movies, including Fire Walk With Me, and I hate them all. So I think that he just needs more time to tell a story than a movie. I am so into what is going on in this show. But yeah, basically that first episode is setting up everything. And the jump that it makes from first episode, like pretty much standard murder mystery type thing, to last episode is almost JoJo's Bizarre Adventure leap from normalcy to insanity.
Yeah, I completely agree. I was like, when I played the last episode, I'm like, wait, is this halfway through? And I had to like make sure I wasn't like in the middle for some reason. But so B, the first episode kind of walks us down the murder mystery of a high school girl and then her friend, and then there's a possibility of a serial killer because like Michael said, once Agent Cooper shows up, there's is he doing a costume change? If it's a red suit and he's doing a weird dance, I'm so okay. And then the idea of a serial killer comes up. The Agent Cooper shows up, and things just seem like it's just a murder mystery. What was your takeaway from episode 1?
Oh, I was fascinated. It hooked me right away. I love a good murder mystery, and like all the elements were there. It was weird. The acting was very bizarre, and that caught me. I was just kind of like, everyone's acting very strange.
Yeah.
No one seems okay.
Dylan, one of the things that I loved about episode 1, and I thought that, especially you, because I know you the most, was the way that this story, like episode 1 unfolds. It's like you get a little bit of information, and then you learn something else about somebody, and then you get a little more information, and that leads you down another hole, and then that leads you down another person, which leads you down another hole, and then at the end you're like, okay, who's James? Why is he the boyfriend? What's up with this psychiatrist? The show is very well written, and for being a David Lynch, story and something. What was your takeaways from episode 1, knowing this is a David Lynch project?
It sets up a lot of characters, and it makes them very distinct in their first appearance. You kind of find out who all these people are with some very minimal, like, set dressing, some small, subtle act, like some little ticks, just like the woman with the eye patch who's obsessed with her drapes. I can't remember most of their names. The woman who owns the logging company, and her dead husband's sister, and they're all pissed off at each other. Cooper, the sheriff's secretary, everybody is given kind of equal footing as an established character, which should feel like a lot, but they all feel like they are at least kind of like on even ground as far as like who you feel is there. It doesn't feel like anybody at this point is kind of, I mean, it does feel like some of them are minor, but it doesn't feel like some of these people are just there to be like window dressing.
Yeah. Now, Matt, you watched this when it first originally aired, correct? Like,
I was forced to watch it as a youth. Yes.
Now, did you know much of David Lynch when this hit you, or was this maybe like your first introduction?
No, this
were
was
they separate?
I never watched movies prior to 2000, so this was my first introduction to David Lynch. And then when I was allowed to watch movies in 2000, I gobbled up all of his films.
Yeah. So when this first hit you, what kind of person was Matt when you watched this the first time? Obviously not a movie watcher, but this is obviously a murder mystery. This is a very, very weird story about a weird place. What was up with you then?
Yeah, up with me in particular. Oh, I was still forming. To this day, I like to look at myself as a aesthetically pleasing block of clay. I like to be molded. I like to have impressions set upon me. So, having all these characters, as B said, they're off. Every one of them just has off. And as you do go on episode to episode, you find out little secrets about them and quirks, and it's a tangled, gross mess. Also, Laura Palmer, wrapped in plastic, may have implanted some awful fetish within my head. But it's not my fault. I blame it on David Lynch.
Yeah, as you should. So, Michael, David Lynch movies. Now, when you watched episode 1, knowing what you know about David Lynch, were you a little let down by the fact that it was not weird at all?
No, I was thrilled.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Because I could tell by his movies that he knows how to tell a story, but I think he gets distracted. But this seemed very focused, like he was doing a thing. Yeah. And when David Lynch is allowed to focus on a thing that he's doing, I think he can write a great story. And I really appreciated this one. Everything except for the acting of the mother. Laura Palmer's mother is maybe the worst actress I've ever seen. And I don't know if that was a choice, but it was annoying.
That lady can scream. She can scream.
Little known fact in the tryouts for this, all they had the characters do is come in and belt out a good scream or two. So that was her in.
Those were some real hardcore screams, though.
Actors... maybe they should have had him read a line or two, because when she wasn't screaming, I wanted to kick her so that she was screaming.
She was in love with her daughter.
Yeah.
What were you saying, Dylan?
I'm just saying, like, I'm not surprised that most of these people were cast on the quality of their screams, because as you see in the last episode, there's some real high quality screams in here.
Oh, yeah.
So, other than when does the show get weird, which obviously we're going to get to soon, what were some of your biggest questions that you had going into, like, okay, now I know that I'm going to hop to the very end. Here are some questions that I might have. Does anybody have any questions that they needed to know?
Yeah, why is everyone like cheating on each other?
People like sex, B.
Everyone, nobody is faithful to their partner.
Yeah.
Nobody. Everyone is cheating on each other with someone else, and it's just kind of like, man, just break up.
Yeah.
Small town living.
You know who doesn't cheat? Agent Dale Cooper.
Yeah.
In fact, during the course of the episode, he has a lot of opportunities with the ladies of Twin Peaks and beyond. There's excursions into Canada, but no.
Hey, he's a sexy man. I mean, obviously, you can see why he takes over whatever the Flintstones company was.
Does he have somebody, or is he like married to his job?
In season two, there is a love interest.
Okay, so here my questions. Dylan brought up one. Do the drapes ever get hung? I was very worried about that. Number two, I was wondering. I had to know who Diane was. If we ever meet Diane, who Cooper talks to via his recorder. Other questions I had, does the secretary lady, does she start every episode describing things in a very quirky style as though there's more than one red chair or more than one phone that could be ringing? When she was trying to tell him which phone she was going to transfer to, I honestly, when I put this on and that's the first scene that hits you, I'm like, is this a comedy? Like, what is this? I think this is actually a comedy. And I'm like, I hope she's doing very well. I also was really hoping that the creepy psychiatrist that I think was having sex with a high school student, I really hope that he gets his due because I hated that man. I was hoping that the shoe changing girl, I was hoping that she was the big bad, the one who was wearing red shoes and then changed to those white, cool 50s shoes.
Are you talking about Audrey Horne?
Maybe. The one who looks very devious in the first episode, but then in the last episode is the one who changed herself to that cell door. So I don't think that she's bad.
And that was so ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm like, what is happening?
If you're gonna chain yourself to the door to like protest, like, don't let them open the door.
Yeah,
she had plenty of chain to chain the hinges of the door shut.
Yeah, she just taped herself to a door that can be opened.
Yeah, it was so silly.
What were you saying, B?
I just imagine that actress reading that script, that scene right there. What would be going through her mind?
And then when I started watching the last episode, that's when I realized that the intro theme is not entertaining or engaging whatsoever. It's very boring and slow. And I was very upset about that. But then my last question was, I was hoping that the raped train walker, I was hoping that she would wake up, and I was like, I don't know if that's a thing or whatever. So those are like my big questions that I had going into the second episode. Then you put on the last episode, and Dylan, if you can, please try to let me know what happens in the last episode of season 2.
Okay. Audrey Horne goes into a bank and changes herself to the vault door. She is there with, I think, one of the partial owners of the logging plant, or one of the local guys. A guy that is not in the first episode is with one of the girls in the woods, takes her to a hole in the ground. The trees turn red, and he goes into this weird spot. Dale and the rest of the police follow them. Dale goes into the weird spot. At the bank, they open up a safety deposit box and it explodes. We don't see those characters for the rest of the episode. We go to Dale. He's hanging out in what I know just because I watched like the next 2 episodes of the first season a few years ago. The Black Lodge, which is this weird supernatural place I don't know anything about at that point, is hanging out there. Everybody is speaking in dialogue that seems like it was originally spoken in reverse and then played in reverse to provide actual forward-going dialogue. It's a really cool otherworldly effect, and it's very Lynchian. And you see some really like hardcore Lynch stuff. He seems to be chasing it's a guy with long gray hair who I think was the person that Laura's mom saw in that first episode, crouching by the bed. She sees some guy crouching by a bed, and then she freaks out, and I'm pretty sure it's that guy. And he's some sort of like malicious spirit because he traps Dale in this extra dimensional area and seems to possess his body after stealing the soul of someone that Dale used to know. The other guy who was with the girl. Laura Palmer shows up and is like, hey, I'll see you in 25 years. And Dale wakes up and headbutts a mirror and laughs, and then the episode's over.
Yeah.
That was a pretty good wrap-up, Dylan.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
You did miss the very sexy dancing of that one French actor in that red suit when he's like,
yes. The creatures.
Oh, I love that.
The beings in the Black Lodge seem very excited to have Dale there, and then they trap him there or something.
Yeah, a cool fact about that backwards talking thing, what David Lynch asked all the actors to do is to recite their lines into a voice recorder, play it backwards, and then memorize their own sayings backwards so they got their own vernaculars correct, which is cool. But what were you saying, Michael?
Oh, I did have a question about the guy with the long gray hair.
Yeah.
Is he the actual devil? Is he the literal biblical devil?
Yeah, good question.
Because he takes the guy who you think is the bad guy and just sucks what I'm assuming is his soul out of his body in the form of like fire. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure this guy's the devil.
Yeah. Matt, is long-haired gray man the devil?
You guys really nailed it on this one. This whole series was basically David Lynch's attempt to convert the world to Christianity. And he was scaring the bejesus out of them. And no one wants to go to the Black Lodge. You don't want to hang out with Bob, who's that scary guy. And yeah,
exactly the same
guy.
Cool, Bob. Yeah. Here, wow, Bob, wow, backwards is wow, Bob, wow. Okay, Dylan.
So wait, what was the question?
What is the gray haired, long gray hair? Is he the devil or just a demon? What's his thing?
They don't really define things.
Okay, yeah.
They leave a lot of things open to interpretation, but he is a baddie. He has the ability to possess living people,
like the devil would.
Or a demon, yeah.
Just some sort of malicious entity. Like, it's David Lynch. I don't think you can be as specific as saying it's Satan. I think you just have to settle with he's a bad thing.
Yeah, Michael, it's not like he developed this whole series to convert the world to Christianity.
Matt, that would be ridiculous. And anyone who would think of an idea that crazy would have to be some sort of maniac.
Matt, something that really shocked me from the last episode was the patch-eyed lady who one of the drapes up. Apparently, her and her husband or partner, they are separated. They're both with somebody else, and apparently, the eye patch lady was hit in the head with a tree and is no longer in love or doesn't even know who this other man named Mike is. Were you? How'd they break up? What did he just leave her for yelling?
Okay. You guys aren't going to believe me on this one, but this is the truth. Because I don't even think I could make something up, okay? So beginning of season 2, still obsessed with the drapes, falls, clocks her noggin. Okay, she wakes up with amnesia thinking she's a high schooler, and she has superhuman strength. To the point where she goes back to high school. They don't get into details about how that's possible, but she starts attending high school. She's on like the cheer team, the football team, all this stuff, kicking guys' asses. But she does not know, her memory of that relationship does not exist. And she has the hots for some young stud. So that's what she goes for.
That's why he asked her, "Do you know how old you are?" And she's like, "I'm 33, you idiot," or whatever. Because I guess she thought she was like a 17-year-old.
Yeah. And Ed, he gets to go off with his love, who he regrets not staying with in high school. So some people are kind of happy.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. B, what was one of your bigger questions, or any question really, that you had from the last episode looking back at the first?
All of my questions can be summed up with just what?
What?
Okay, but no, seriously, what happens to like the motorcycle guy? Like, I don't think we saw him in the last scene,
Oh, James?
the last episode. Where did he go? Did he die?
Okay. Again, it's great. I don't even need to make stuff up because this stuff. Okay. He just goes cruising. Okay. He finds a whole new town. He finds a job at a local garage owned by a brother and sister who you find out have some sort of very controlling, incestuous relationship going on. But he falls for the girl and, come away with me. But she chooses to stay with her brother instead. He gets his heart broken again. He goes off into the woods and uncovers a mass grave while he's crying, and it is 72 missing people from the local town.
Those kids were just going to show back up. Yeah.
Is that it?
No.
Well, yeah, that's the last you see of him. I mean, he's mentioned. They don't ignore him, but he does not go back to Twin Peaks. I do want to add that the same year Twin Peaks ended, 1920 or goddamn 1992, he started a movie called The Gladiator where he was a boxer. I forget the guy's name, but yeah, James.
Russell Crowe?
Okay.
No, different Gladiator.
Oh, okay.
You watched that Gladiator, Dylan?
Okay, I have a question about.
Honestly, we can't do Matt's shows because you never know if what's in the middle. I'm curious about some things, and now I really have to just binge this show, which I did not have time to do.
I don't even give a shit what Matt says about this. I don't believe him, and I am going to watch this show. I'm actually upset that we had to put this off till this week because I wanted to watch it as soon as I was finished with it. I was like, good, we can get this episode done tomorrow, and then I can watch this show. And then we had to reschedule. So I do have a question about the very beginning of this last episode. Bobby comes in to the diner. His blonde girlfriend, who I'm just assuming that every blonde in this town gets murdered, because that's what it seems like. But the lady who he's talking to, is that the same lady who had the crush on him in the first episode?
Yeah.
The other lady. Okay. I for some reason I can't tell the difference between people in this town. Like everybody sort of looks the same.
And honestly, I think that was done intentionally.
Because when Laura Palmer is in the Black Lodge or the Red Room at the end, I'm like, is that Laura Palmer or is this any of these other blonde girls that were in this show? Like
they're
all
tell. Pretty basic white women.
Yeah, they're all pretty blonde white ladies. Like I have no idea who anybody is. And the only one that I know is this receptionist. Now, Cooper and this receptionist seem to be on the same page. Do they, like, not romantically, but are they, like, close working partners throughout this show?
Well, being the man that Special Agent Dale Cooper is, Michael, he, in his workplace, treats everyone equally, and when he sees that someone shows a skill, a talent, an ability that he can utilize in solving a case, then by all means, he reaches out and makes them, upfront and present as much as he is. He might have the authority in a lot of cases, but he will use them together as a team. I wouldn't say use. He would, he doesn't lift people up. He links arms with them and they walk together.
Okay, because
but she actually helps with some stuff.
Yeah, she seems to be the one that's the most.
You will
on
like
top
later.
Of anything.
She is a love interest, and there's a love triangle going around with her, which is extremely amusing.
Matt, I've got a question. Did you watch the third season?
No, I watched I think 2 of them, and then my free thing ran out, and then I kept doing other things in life.
Yeah.
But I like if I don't even is it on Showtime? I really need to watch it. We should do season 3 of this if you guys are up for it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Once we watch the rest of this, I'm interested to watch that third season because I've heard very like up and down things about it.
I will say someone mentioned, do you get to see Diane? You do not get to see Diane in the first 2 seasons, but in season 3, Diane is actually there.
Okay.
Oh, so Diane is a physical human, actual living person.
Oh,
yeah.
cool.
I thought Diane was just like his split personality or something.
Yeah, or does his voice recorder's name?
His voice recorder's name is
I like that idea.
Yeah.
Oh, I was just assuming some sort of split personality.
Oh, that's cool. I have a question. So, Agent Cooper came to Twin Peaks, and the first thing that he asked about was the fingernails. And in the second woman that died, he pulled out a letter. So I'm assuming that he was sent there for no.
No, I was thinking about.
Oh, that was
him.
gross. Yeah,
it's so gross.
Yeah. So was he sent there looking for a serial killer, and then B, is there a serial killer? Because I don't think that comes up in the last episode again.
Yes.
Okay, cool. And what did the letters spell out?
That will ruin the surprise.
Yeah, that's fair. What, Dylan?
Unless you really want to know.
No. Well,
it here says "Fire Walk with Me."
Mm-hmm.
Because they found an R.
Yeah.
But that's a lot of letters, though. So I don't know.
There's a lot of blonde girls in this town.
That's true. That's true. Okay, so the train walking woman that was raped that did not have a letter up under her fingernail. What was that about?
Okay. The killer of Laura Palmer also attacked her, but she managed to get away.
Okay. Why didn't she have like memories? She just got like beat up bad or whatever.
Werewolf.
Classic. Okay. Okay, Dylan. Who do you think was the killer of Laura Palmer?
I think it was. I don't know if it's as straightforward as someone killed her, because she was in that room at the end of the last episode, and she seemed to be like speaking with some sort of like, I'll see you in 25 years. Like she seemed, or at least an imitation of her, something in her shape, because we saw that people can be possessed with Cooper at the end of the show. So I assume that there was something more going on with Laura Palmer than just being murdered for being a pretty blonde girl.
B, who did you think murdered Laura Palmer?
Who did I think?
Yeah, or do you think?
Who do I think now?
Yeah, who do you think now?
God, I don't even know. I had so many theories at like the first episode, and then afterwards I was just kind of like, I got nothing.
Yeah, once it started with
nothing.
Once it started with that dancing scene, I'm like, I don't think my questions are going to get answered. Colby, who do you think killed Laura Palmer?
I wish that I thought that it was the guy who the devil sucks his soul out, like the guy who took that last lady and Cooper into the red room or whatever. Like that seems like the logical person. But I also watched, a little old French guy, walking backwards and talking, and then I watched Dale Cooper run through a hallway and open up different curtains that lead to the same room,
Mhm.
and then the same curtain that led to a different room. And I don't think that the simplest or the most logical answer to anything would be the one that I was looking for. So I'm going to say that the person who killed Laura Palmer was a gay lumberjack werewolf.
So up until talking to you three, I thought that it was her dad. Now, because knowing there's possession, knowing that he like screams, "I didn't kill anybody," and how crazy the parents were. But yeah, so obviously the lumberjack werewolf gay fella does seem way more probable. Matt, is it okay if we find out? Is anybody worried about spoiling this? I'm not sure if it is a spoiler of anything.
Well, I just want to. I have some background knowledge just of the production of the show. They didn't want to. Apparently, David Lynch and Mark Frost didn't want to reveal the killer, and they were made to by the network.
That is
so. During like the second season, I think, or like the end of the first or something.
The season finale, they revealed the killer, but again, what you said is correct. They did not intend on that. They planned on drawing it out, but that made them. Well, Lynch have to change direction and find a whole new premise for season 2. Because he wasn't ready to end it, but
Well, okay. So, is there one person that kills all of the women and does this, or does the demon possess many different people to do different crimes?
The current string of crimes are by the same possessed person.
Laura Palmer's mother,
father. Or the cool sawmill owner guy.
It's the sawmill itself.
Oh, the actual sawmill. I mean, you think that's a pretty big deal because, like, the whole intro is about the sawmill and how it gets made.
It's right there from the very beginning.
Yeah, fair. So this is like a Carrie or a Christine story, but instead of a car, it's a whole sawmill. It's so that's weird.
So it's
Michael,
like the Langoliers.
No,
not really.
No, not at all. I think you're hoping no one. Yeah, that was like. It was. I
think I may be mixing up what the Langoliers is. Was that not some sort of weird possessed building?
You're thinking of the Goonies.
You're thinking Transformers.
No, I guess it doesn't matter because apparently I'm just very wrong.
No, Langoliers
stuff
is like
that eats time.
Yeah, it's like whatever just happened, and like a little bit of the past gets eaten, and then people kind of forget stuff, and then Balky rips up a lot of paper. That's pretty much how that whole movie worked. B, what other questions do you have that Matt may or may not lie about?
Jeez.
Who is the first person that goes into the red room and speaks backwards? Like, what's the reveal of that?
Yeah.
Are you asking B?
Well, I don't know. I don't think B knows.
No, I don't.
So I'm asking Matt.
I know nothing.
Yeah, me neither.
Head empty, no thoughts.
It's the first time you see it is in dream sequences. I think it's around episode 3 that it starts getting freaktastic, and then like the next episode kind of goes back to normal. Like it just kind of one of those, what the hell is going on? And then it's like, oh no, just back in the weird town. But yeah, it's dreams and drug visions, and
there was
things.
something with like cocaine.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was 1990.
Yeah, the journal with the key and the cocaine. Like, what was so special about her journal?
She has a journal, a secret journal, and later you find a secret journal.
Oh, wait. So is that key that was in that thing? Was that to the lockbox that blew up?
That is to a part of the sawmill.
Oh,
yeah.
Ooh, a secret part of the sawmill.
Yep.
Ooh, a secret part.
That's interesting.
There are a lot of secrets.
Yeah. Man, Dylan, what
Yeah.
do you have any other questions that about this show? Matt, what would you say is like? Is there a standout episode that you can remember that is like I've watched this episode more than others, or one that in rewatching you think that we would really enjoy the most, or is it just kind of the whole thing is cool?
I mean, I love the whole thing, but one of my favorites is in season 2. They have a Halloween episode, and all the town people, like, this is after all said and done and Bob is gone, at least they think, and a lot of the townsfolk, especially the high schoolers, dress up as Bob, and they think it's funny, and it's not. That guy was a murderer.
So the girl from episode 1, who was Laura's friend, who I think she ended up hooking up with James at the end. She wasn't in the last episode. What happened to her? Did she get murdered like all the other high school girls?
She did get murdered.
Classic.
Was she like dating Laura Palmer also?
Yeah, there was
Before
a
that?
weird swipe on her back or whatever.
She was just kind of obsessed with her. Yeah,
okay. Because they did seem very chummy in that video that they showed in that
yeah,
first
exactly.
You got my interest. I was like, is there some gay shit going on? Like,
And
tell me
I
more.
mean, it could be, alluded to, but there's nothing that ever comes out like that. I mean, what you find out about Laura is she was super down to party, so whatever.
Just really good friends.
Yeah,
Really good friends.
Okay, so they talked to the psychiatrist who had those very long ear things stuck in his ear for some reason, and wanted to examine Laura's dead body.
Yeah, he did.
Because he just said, we were hooking up if nobody knows, which is a gross thing to do when there's a dead body in the morgue. But he obviously, the psychiatrist, was not in the last episode. Anything cool happened to that guy? Because I hope that guy gets murdered horrifically.
Though I am not going to justify his actions.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. He
no.
turns out he had a good heart.
Huh.
Probably dies.
But there were actions that can't be.
Oh yeah, he was
forgiven.
having sex with a high school student who was his patient.
Okay.
Then he's not such a good guy.
No, I did not say I did not say I would justify his actions.
I think that's actually a quote. What you did say. It sounds like you're talking the exact same way Michael talks about Clockwork Orange, which is, I love these guys. I do this shit all the time.
Wow.
But I will say also that
okay.
He was in love with Laura. He was obsessed. She was his life.
Wow, everybody loved Laura.
Yeah.
Wait, was her and her mom a thing also? Because her mom cried so terribly hard when she died.
No.
Well,
if you found out your only daughter was dead, horrifically murdered, I would probably freak the fuck
Wrapped in
out.
plastic.
Too.
Yeah,
well,
probably.
She was worried because she has to take care of the secret in the sawmill now.
Oh,
that Laura
Wait,
is
what?
on.
So she knew about this.
Dylan's face.
She was the only other one that knew about that key.
Okay, so there was a weird scene when they wanted to talk to the mom, the one cop. As soon as Agent Cooper gets there, they talk to the mom, and there's the old man who's squeezing her arm, and then he just says to her, he says to the cop, "Okay, you can talk to her now." Did they give her something? Did they drug her hardcore? Did anyone else think that was a weird scene?
That was the doctor, the town doctor, and it was the 90s, so pretty much, cocaine was the answer to everything.
Classic.
Yeah, hysterical woman. He probably gave her like opium or some shit.
Yeah, loud.
No, he's like, we need to calm her down. Let's give her a bucket full of cocaine.
Different time.
Yeah, this show, it was so crazy. I thought when I started the last episode of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and I saw a guy chop his head off with his bare hand, I was like, this is the craziest that this shit is ever gonna get.
Just you fucking wait.
Yeah.
But the Twin Peaks, the disparity between first and last was unrecognizable as the same show, because
I agree.
We had a very like standard murder mystery that just went so far into the supernatural. I was like, all right, I'm in. How long does it take to go sort of crazy? Does it go pretty quickly, or
no, it's never. They keep teasing you with it, so they'll give you bits, and then they'll keep pulling you along.
So they reveal the supernatural stuff very slowly.
Well, he said episode 3, I think, is crazy.
Episode 3's like where it really, like that's the first like crazy.
In the last episode, I really want to hear what you guys think about that. There's a scene that happened in the very first episode, and it's where when the German waitress comes in to the diner to work, and then the biker dude is there, or the bad boy's there, not James, and he talks to the other waitress, and then that scene goes away, which is very similar to how it was in the first episode, but they don't talk. Yeah, I loved it too. It was
I love when
different.
they bookend things like that.
So cool, but why? Cool. They didn't talk about that. That wasn't a flashback. It just popped in there. It was a little different. And then, okay, so how many times throughout this series do you see that scene, Matt?
Similar things, fairly consistently. I mean, maybe every other episode, or with alterations of things.
Yeah, with that same German waitress with the pigtails.
Yeah.
Okay, because I was a fan of her. Because I'm like, okay, the only thing I know about her is that she's a little bit late because she has sex with somebody and she's got a nasty laugh. I need a lot more.
Classic German girls.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Dylan, any more questions you have about this show? Because I'm so interested in watching this. I'm so upset that I've never seen this before.
I don't know. I don't know that there's any questions worth kind of bringing up right now.
Yeah.
I want to watch it all the way through, but I've said that before in the past, so we'll see how far I get in on this current watch.
So, Matt, Agent Cooper seems like he's a big deal of this show, and obviously a big deal in your life. You've modeled your hairstyle after him, and also your facial hairstyle after him.
Yep.
Now, my question is, does he have a character arc, or is he like a Columbo that just is there and solves things and dips? Like, do you learn a lot about him, or is he just a cop?
You learn a lot about him. His past is secret, but you start chipping away more at that in season 2. But really, he loves Twin Peaks, and come season 2, he decides to live there, buy some property. Cool. One of the properties he looks at is Dead Dog Farm. Another thing not making up. One of the things that I really liked, where you got to see the characters meshing together, where they become more than just coworkers and cops, just more friends. There's a secret underground group of peacekeepers in the town that refer to themselves as the Bookhouse Boys. And Agent Dale Cooper, to infiltrate a prostitution ring in Canada in a like a casino sort of thing. They pose as a Buddy Holly cover band, and they go to Canada. It's Dale, the main cop.
I probably hate you.
Why would you?
I can't tell if any of this is true.
Well, they get the baddies.
It's hard to say with David Lynch. It's hard to say how much of this is just pure bullshit. And how much of it is just David Lynch bullshit.
Yeah,
literally anything could be true.
Yeah, Matt is not modeling himself after Agent Dale Cooper. He is David Lynch. I'm pretty sure that Matt may be actual David Lynch.
His hair's
I think
close.
David Lynch may have possessed the body of somebody named Matt, and this is what we get now.
So Agent Cooper has an affinity for these trees he sees in Twin Peaks. Does he ever have sex with a tree, or is it all natural stuff, or is it specifically trees?
It is alluded to that he has sex up against a tree, but not with a tree. Though they didn't, it's a television show. They don't actually show the intercourse. So what went on between him, his partner, and that tree.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, splinters, though, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
That sounds
very,
uncomfortable.
very interested in those trees.
There's a lot of supernatural stuff that you see because of like the room and that lodge and everything. Is there any like creatures that live in Twin Peaks that you see, or any kind of outside influences, or is it just that demon doing all of the business?
there
There's
cryptids?
definitely other things. The owls are not what they seem. And the sawmill, what is behind that door, may or may not be a werewolf.
All right, cool. All
Or
right,
it may
so-
be a Frankenstein made out of 72 missing townspeople.
Yeah. It's all parts of underneath fingernails of 72 women from Twin Peaks.
Oh,
I
God.
can't believe how long that scene was with
Whoa.
the close up of him just digging underneath that girl's fingernail.
And
And
it
just-
was like that letter was under the cuticle too. It
Yeah,
wasn't
it
even
was-
like under the nail. It was
No.
down there.
Yeah, and like he pulled it out so slowly, and they just
And then
held
to-
on it.
And then
Uah.
to think like that paper was folded. Imagine having a folded piece of paper just crammed under your fingernail. Even dead, I don't want that.
Yeah, I was gonna say I would hope that she was dead after he put that letter underneath her fingernail, because
Yeah.
I would rather be dead than somebody shove a piece of paper under my finger.
Okay, so they said about the woman who was on the train tracks that she was raped, and the policeman asked if it was by more than one person, and that was inconclusive. Unfortunately, is that something that happens? Like, does he? Is it okay? Was it a they, or do they do bad stuff to all the girls? Because I'm not.
There
super
is
interested in
some
that,
very messed up stuff going on in Twin Peaks and Canada.
obviously. Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
I mean, beavers
the
are a
worst-
pest up there, so that makes sense.
The worst part about shit like this is it's so delicate. Like, do they handle it well? Because
Yeah.
like these serial killers and stuff, they do fucked up stuff, and it's almost always to women, and that sucks. But like, it's so hard to do in media without making it look like you hate women.
Yeah.
But that's what they do. Like, these serial killer guys, like, they normally hate women. So to do it, but I feel like if anybody is able to do it, you know, so that it seems like it is the actual killers that hate the women,
Yeah,
it's
I
David
think
Lynch
it was
would
done.
be able to.
I really like how it was done, but how it was done makes it kind of even worse when you think about it.
Yeah.
So if everyone who is, or if the person who is possessed by a demon does this to women, the demon just does not like ladies, right? Is that ultimately what we learn?
Demon doesn't like anyone.
Okay, but mostly ladies.
It's basically, chaos and
Oh, okay. So just
Yeah.
a whole bunch of mess.
But is he killing these blonde? Like, am I right? Is he killing blonde women? Is that because it seems like It seems like, again, there's a lot of people who look exactly the same
Yeah.
in this town.
Does he
And
kill?
normally
yeah,
when
you
they're
could be right.
Does he
but-
kill and does he kill and rape men?
No, this was 1990.
Oh yeah, men. Yeah, that makes sense, I guess.
I mean, yeah, again, serial killers, not like you look through the history of serial killers, very few of them are killing men, period.
Yeah, except Dahmer
Yeah.
and a couple are. But yeah,
Except
true.
Dahmer. Yeah.
I was gonna
And
say.
there's a couple who will throw a random guy in just to throw people off of their trail, but for the most part, it's mother issues
Yeah,
that these
and
guys
just,
are.
or
Yeah.
power issues. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that the demon that Bob uses the persona and just makes them a billion times worse than they
Oh, cool.
originally
Sure.
are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow,
Cool.
Bob.
Well,
Wow.
I mean, I think that watching just the first episode and just the last episode, this is a show that you really should watch. Even though episode 1 was an hour and a half, and episode 23, I think, whatever, that one was an hour. So these are hour-long shows throughout. So it is a meaty chunk of content to take down, but I think it seemed so interesting and so intriguing. And if the bridge from first to last episode is a linear bridge, then I am so excited to get into this. So, and you suggest this show to people, right, Matt? You say, watch this thing.
Oh,
watch
without
every
a doubt.
episode.
I don't even know how many times I've watched the series all the way through. So just go worship it, everyone.
Cool. All right. Well, I'm definitely going to watch it. Is everyone on this panel going to check the show out and get down to all of it? Yeah.
Yeah,
I think so
absolutely.
too. If it was just after episode 1, I'd be like, okay, this is an intriguing murder mystery. I'm not sure if I'm going to I might hop into an episode occasionally, but after watching that last one and being like, whoa, how did this get here? How did people start talking backwards? When did everyone start wearing red? This is so cool. I'm so in. But yeah, so if you're watching this and this was interesting at all, check out Twin Peaks, the first 2 seasons from 1990. You can find them on Hulu, which is where we found them and binged, are going to binge most of them. Now, before we say our goodbyes, we're going to quickly chat about what we're going to watch next for the next episode. And what we decided was a longer spanning show, one that's very similar to a show that we talked about earlier. And what we decided to do was...
I don't know about that.
Hey, created and written by the same people, I think.
I know. I know.
Yeah.
So, we decided to do Glee. Well, what we're going to do for No Time to Binge for next episode is, the hit pop star phenomenon that is known as Glee. Matt, one of Matt's other favorite shows, and he was so behind this and was really pushing for this. Actually, this was the precipice for the entire show itself. He's like, you want to watch Glee with me, Zach? And I'm like, we should probably wait for later on. But anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to watch season 1, episode 1, which is titled eloquently Pilot. And then we're going to watch season 6, episode 13, which is titled Dreams Come True. Now, Dylan, what do you know about Glee?
I watched the first episode, and I was like, yeah, this is fine. It felt like, I don't know, high school drama show with music, and the music I thought at the time it's pop, and it's pop a cappella, but it's fine. A cappella, I think it has instrumental backing.
Pop cappella.
Don't do that.
I gotta save time. We got no time to binge this stuff.
It's, I don't know, yeah, whatever. It's Glee. I know it by reputation again.
Yeah.
I was never into it. My sisters were never into it, which I think says something.
B, what is your experience with Glee?
Absolutely nothing,
Cool.
which is kind of surprising because I am a huge musical theater nerd. But I know nothing. Is it like High School Musical?
It's not musical theater.
Like,
it's jukebox musical.
It is jukebox musical. They are constantly trying to go, from what I can gather from the memes and the jokes, they're always going to nationals or regionals or quarterfinals or something. They have to do one more Journey song or else the teacher's going to quit. And then there's a lot of gay stuff though, so it actually might be kind of interesting.
There's a lot of gay stuff, but they just butcher some of these songs.
Hell yeah!
Am I gonna be mad?
Mm-hmm.
Only if
I don't
Probably.
know what they do, but my family did watch this show a lot, and all of my experience was like seeing songs that I enjoyed just be murdered by these high schoolers.
Now
they do a Slayer episode, don't they?
Oh, yes, probably.
Yeah, they do that Sex Pistols episode where.
Oh no.
Yeah, there's that Gwar episode, which gets a little weird.
They didn't air that on TV.
Yeah. I would love that. I would love to hear an a cappella version of Sadama Go-Go. And they just have super soakers filled with blood, just like...
Agent Deterior. Agent Deterior Cooper. Any Glee experience whatsoever? Do you know about this show? Were you allowed to watch this as a youngling?
I know there's singing in it. And I'm really hoping that there's a Gigi Allen episode.
Probably.
The punk episode is it's the teacher, and he just takes his shirt off and he's just cutting himself, and then he shits in his hand and throws it. Yeah,
terrible. A lot of feces in that episode.
Yeah,
it was odd that they could actually air that one. So Michael Colby, yes.
Do you have a song that you want them to cover on Glee?
Yeah, honestly, I really want to hear Weezer's Africa. I think that it's a beautiful song, and honestly, if anyone can do it better than Rivers Cuomo, then it's probably Jane. Whatever her last Lynch.
I am so mad that you just called Africa a Weezer song. If I might buy a plane ticket out to Colorado just to smack you.
It's worth it. So Colby, we're gonna have a special guest possibly on this episode, right? Another
I hope
expert?
so, because if not, we don't have an expert.
Yeah. So our expert
whatever.
No, I'm okay with this.
I'll just make shit up.
Yeah, I'll actually, if you want me to, I'll binge. Well, actually, I think my daughter has watched all of this. But so we're going to have the amazing G. Seiler. Sealer?
Yeah.
Seiler. Oh, whatever. I forget it. But yeah, so they're going to be here again, and we're all going to chat about how weird Glee is and how many questions we're going to have about the middle between, I guess, like 100 episodes. I have no idea. So long. 6 seasons, like so many episodes.
Like the Law and Order SVU of musical shows.
All right, so let's get out of here. Let's say our goodbyes real fast and where people can find you if they want to. Agent Cooper, please say your goodbyes and where people can find your business if they want your business.
Hey, everyone. When you watch Twin Peaks, if you like the character Leo, he is a lot like a character off of this podcast I've been listening to. Jack Billings Presents Me and My Neighbor Michael, a neighborhood comedy podcast about goings-on within the neighborhood. But he's a lot like Liam in this thing. I think you should binge Twin Peaks and binge Jack Billings Presents and compare the two, because Liam's pretty much in every episode.
I'm so glad that's not true.
Yeah, check out Jack Billings. Check out this. We'll see Matt next episode. Miss B, give us your business.
So yeah, I'm B. You can find my podcast, Deep Lore, and Is This Podcast a JoJo Reference? Pretty much everywhere that podcasts are. If you want, you can follow my Instagram for some cosplay content. That is b.bethy.
Hey, what song do you want to hear on Glee?
Oh my god. I want to hear them cover The Rains Down in Africa. I want to hear that.
The Weezer song? Yeah, nice. Dylan Terry.
Find me on some nobodies at Silicon Angels. We do talking and twitching upstream. CYOP Appeal. Branching storyline. Zach put together all of my rambling into this weird web of storylines. And I'm really looking forward to finding the Coheed and Cambria episode of Glee. That's all I got, guys. Bye.
Adios. Colby.
Hey. You guys all know my shows, so I'm just going to plug my guest appearances this week. I was on Line for Line podcast, I was on the Cloud Chronicles, and I was on the Boss Cast. So I got different. And then I'm going to plug a new thing that I'm doing, which is called Generation Clash. It's with me and my very own child, G. And we take 3 songs from bands that we like and try to get the other one to like that band. So I think that's going to be a very fun show. Episode 1 is going to be the Dead Kennedys. And then episode 2 is My Chemical Romance. So...
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so tune in to hear if
wait, so which one is yours versus G?
I'm not going to give you a response to that. Obviously, mine is the Dead Kennedys, and
I don't know about that.
My Chemical Romance is
G does seem way cooler than you anyway, so
wow.
Well, I'm just saying you seem like a My Chemical Romance fan.
Wow. Actually, spoiler alert, I did listen to the 3 songs already. Not that bad. Not that bad.
Yeah, not that bad. Yeah.
Yeah. So So yeah, that's what's coming up next. I think we're going to be recording those this weekend, so they'll be out very, very soon.
Cool. Right on. All right, man. I'll see you next episode. And yeah, so I'm Zach Wiseman. You can see everything that we do, like Dylan said, at somenobodies.com. You can find everything for No Time to Binge at No Time to Binge on all social medias. You can see us also on The Real Boys, where we review movies of our friends' favorites or least favorite films, and some new stuff, and also some crap that this stupid Real Wheel sends up. But yeah, Tuesdays, Twitching Upstream. You can see me later on today on Jeff Dwoskin Show talking about the trashes on Netflix. But until next time, everyone, I'm Zach Wiseman. And we're No Time to Binge, and I appreciate you all. And Dylan, please play this song. He's probably not listening to this because he's
And now for something completely different.
What I do is I look a woman up and down and I say,
I'm coming to join you, bitch.
Oh, is that too far?
Oh, you want to get into things?
Well, I mean...
No. Let's get into things. Let's get real. Everybody, BoJack wants to get real. Cancel the bubble round, because we're getting real.